Book of Heaven, Volume 31, November 27th, 1932. The human will is like paper on which the divine image is coined, and God places on it the value of the number that he wants. Example: God, enclosed in the act of the creature. I am always prey to the divine fiat. My littleness does not tire of wandering around it and within it, with the sure hope of being consumed in its light, and with the appetite of penetrating ever more into its knowledges, to be able to savor new divine tastes. In fact, each additional knowledge is one more taste that one receives, and it whets one's appetite for wanting to taste more. At times one feels an insatiable hunger that is never satiated, and one would want to be always with the mouth open to receive this celestial nourishment. So, my mind was crowded with many things that regarded the divine will, so much so that if I wanted to write everything, I don't know where I would go to get the paper. Therefore, I limit myself as much as I can. And since some doubts were crawling within my mind, my celestial teacher Jesus, visiting his little newborn, told me,
"Blessed daughter, it is then that an act has more value when one knows the good that is inside. And the more one knows, the more one acquires, because the creature does that act based on the value that she knows. And our paternal goodness cannot deceive, nor make fun of anyone. If we make known that there is that value in that act, it is because we want to give the value manifested by us. And the sure sign is the very knowledge which, of its own, already possesses that value. We act like a king who takes a paper that has no value and puts on it, now 100, now 1,000, now 1,000,000. The paper has the same quality, the same shape, but according to the number, so it possesses its value. Therefore, what gives the value to the paper is the number and the image of the king, who makes use of it as the currency of the kingdom. Now so we do. The paper is the act of the creature. The knowledge is our divine image. The value is the number that we place on it. So, what is the wonder if we say that one act alone in our will surpasses in value all acts together of all other creatures done outside of it? It is our image that is coined in the human act, as if on paper, and the value of our knowledge that puts the number on it. Are we not entitled to put the number that we want on the paper of the human will? If the king is entitled to put the number he wants over a most wretched paper, more so are we to form the currency that must circulate in our azure fatherland. Moreover, our will was a free gift that we gave to man. He paid us nothing in order to have it, nor did he have sufficient monies or means to be able to pay us, other than the most wretched paper of his human will, which, to his misfortune, he did not even want to lend to us in order to keep our great gift. And besides, we were his most tender and most loving father, and between father and children no accounts are kept, because it is known that the father must give to the children, and they are obliged by duty of justice to love and keep with esteem what the father gives them. Here, then, the necessity of the knowledge is on the divine will, and we give them bit by bit, so that the creature may appreciate this gift so great, which we freely want to give her. Knowledge generates the appetite, the desire to know more, and the human will is disposed little by little to undergo the transformation, the unification of the divine will. And we, without keeping accounts or paying attention to whether she can pay us or not, will place our image and the incalculable number of a divine value, and will be content to see our children rich and happy of our own divine happiness and wealth.
In addition to this, my most sweet one added,
My daughter, you must know that as the creature operates in our will, she receives the divine fecundity into her act, which forms the divine seed in all of her acts, such that, spreading in the entire soul, it forms the divine seed in the thought, in the word, in everything, in such a way that the sweet enchantment of her Creator can be seen in her little act, happy to give life to the act of the creature with his lovable presence. Oh, if the sweet surprise, the unheard of prodigy, could be seen by all, the supreme being enclosed in the small circle of the human act, they would remain so stupefied that the entire prodigy of the universe would be an absolute nothing compared to this. Therefore, there is a great difference between one who operates in my will and one who operates without it. The first one is a spring whose fount can boast of being inexhaustible in its water, and of being able to give water to whomever wants it without ever drying up. The second is a fount that does not spring and dries up. The first is fecund earth, and its meadows are always flowery. The second is sterile earth that hardly produces a few wild plants. The first has the sun at her disposal, which makes her drink its large gulps of light, of sweetness, of sanctity, of invincible patience, of heroism, of sacrifices. The second has the night that gives her sips to maintain her passions, to debilitate her and make her lose the sight of heaven. The difference between one and the other is great. Therefore be attentive, and let my divine will consume you and transform you completely into its light.
Fiat.